Chucky is back. It's the coach. This is week 1 of the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, for the first time in more than 16 years, John Gruden takes to the sideline here in Oakland as coach of the Raiders. But they're in for a tough test against a playoff team from a year ago, the Los Angeles Rams. I'll talk to you again at halftime with a look back to games from yesterday. But first, we head out to the East Bay. Standing by, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Oakland, California. The pregame festivities here in Oakland have to be seen to be believed. This crowd in silver and black, they are fired up as their Raiders get set to face off with the Los Angeles Rams. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at the Raiders here entering play, and I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They pass the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Rams, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
No more training camp, no more exhibitions. The 2018 NFL season on EA Sports is underway. This will be taken in at the 1. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. So out come the Rams now for their first possession. The former #1 overall pick leads them out there. Jared Goff in his 3rd season now as the quarterback of the Rams.
It always comes down to the talent of a player first, but never underestimate what good coaching can do for you as well. How about Jared Goff, 0-7 as a rookie to 11-4 in an NFC West title in his 2nd season? The arrival of Sean McVay and his staff, they really jumped up his game. 28 touchdowns, just 7 interceptions in 2017.
For Todd Gurley. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Again they run with Gurley. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. And the big meat on the D-line. We'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. A shotgun snap for Goff. And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack. Bruce Irvin in there to drop it for a 4-yard loss, and it'll be 4th down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field. The man calling the shots in the huddle will be Derek Carr in his 5th year now out of Fresno State.
He did make his 3rd straight Pro Bowl, but the numbers didn't really reflect what is known as Pro Bowl caliber. 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions on a 6-10 team. But the biggest question in Oakland in this offseason, how will he and new head coach John Gruden mesh? That's the key to victory for the Oakland Raiders.
On the carry, here's Marshawn Lynch. And nothing doing on his first run. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Carr to throw on second down. And he finds his man. It's the former Ram, Jared Cook. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
6-18.
Carr going to try and throw on third down. Cooper's got it. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A Raider first down as Carr finds Cooper.
It's funny when I go back to our pregame meeting with Amari Cooper, and we mentioned, what they play man coverage against you. He almost seemed offended by it, didn't he?
I'll beat it. That's basically what he said, right?
I mean, the best receivers we've ever talked to and covered, when you talk about covering them with one guy, they think that's a personal affront. If they feel like if they can't just beat one defender, then they're not very good.
They'll get only a couple down to the 44.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. So those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Back to the ground, this time Lynch. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 6 yards on the pickup, and just like that, it's third down.
No surprise watching Marshawn Lynch scatter bodies as he runs, but I remember doing games of his at Cal, and I remember the moves, the jump cuts, the elusiveness, as well as the strength.
Carr looking to throw on 3rd and 2. But it's brought in by Washington. And he's going to get this inside the 30. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive. And they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on third down. They did.
Big-time pickup for them. And now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets dense. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
On second down, Lynch. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And they're going to face a third down.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff him for a loss. Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete. The LA defense up to snuff in coverage there, pushes this to 4th down.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up 4th. So the first points of the night belong to our home team as they're able to take the opening kickoff and at least get 3 points out of it.
Yeah, and that helps the crowd, right? Helps people feel good about why they're there watching this game. They move the ball well on their opening drive.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Well, we turn our attention to the Rams here as the offense comes out. So many positive vibes around this club entering 2018. Their third season back in L.A., a new stadium on the way. And coming off of last year, Charles, and you said this to me in the car on the way over, it's going to be interesting to see what this year brings.
That's because they will actually be the team that's hunted now. And they haven't been that for a long time, meaning they're sitting on top of the NFC West. Many people think they might be the team to beat in the NFC overall, even with the Eagles and the Vikings staring at them. So explosive on offense last year. Defense kept getting better. And in the offseason, the defense added cornerback Marcus Peters, added defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh, both Pro Bowlers. They think that they're ready right now to challenge for a Super Bowl, and they intend to go for it.
Gurley again here on first down. Stops shy of the 45 despite some powerful running. The All-Pro in 2 positions. Khalil Mack there to make the stop.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. It was Maurice Hurst who got him down. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Now it's gone. That's going to be complete to his tight end, Everett. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A gain of 19 and picking up the first.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
On first down, it's Gurley. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second. Back live now to begin the second quarter with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's the Rams with a football to get us going, but they face a second and long to start things out. They'll stick to the ground game with Gurley. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. Throwing on third. Goff. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and that'll bring up fourth down. A nice job of bringing that in, but why was he so close to the sideline there? They had all kinds of room in the flat.
A little bit of a lack of coordination between him and the quarterback because both of them should have seen that room that was available, that space. Stop your route a little bit shorter, put it on him, and let him turn and get upfield.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Carr and the Raiders come up first and 10 at their 25-yard line. They start the drive with Lynch. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. A gain of 3, second down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
On second down, here's Carr. And that one complete to Marshawn Lynch. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They'll get 3 out of the dump-off there, and that'll lead to a third down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
To throw, it's Carr. Flushed out right. He may try and run for this. Carr can beat you in a lot of ways. The scramble there, a perfect example as he gets the first.
Now that definitely hurts because the mindset is getting a 3-and-out there, and they don't get it done. They give up the scramble and a pickup for a first down.
Get down!
Carr now on first down. Over the middle, it's Jared Cook. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
First down to run with Lynch. And he's going to take this one across midfield and into Ram territory. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Mark Barron leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6.
Well, enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long. Shotgun now for Carr. To the right side, he's got Cooper. It's complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag. Completed it very well.
Throwing on first down is Carr. And, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
That was a terrific catch. I mean, to go up there and get it one-handed like that, but I almost want to go into that riff about back in my day, the gloves weren't quite like this.
When did gloves really become prevalent, just in general?
I think in the 80s. I think as we started to move through the 80s, especially as we got towards the latter part of that. But a lot of those were really like baseball batting gloves to begin with not much of a tacky area on the glove. In fact, there was none. I actually remember in cold weather games wearing the old scuba gloves, which you'd wear in diving, but they would split too easily in the course of a game. Then the glove manufacturers got smart and started adding to it. And here we are today.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. The LA defense up the snuff in coverage there. Pushes this to 4th down. I don't think this will even, nope, it doesn't even get there. Well short, and this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
This offense trots back out there now, and as they do, Charles, one thing to point out that we saw a second ago are some of the new rules in the NFL this year regarding kickoffs.
Yeah, nowadays, the kickoff team, no more running starts. Remember that when you kind of circle a guy around and here he goes? No more. You have to start, close to the ball. And when it's kicked, then you get to take off and go, so you can't build up your speed that way. Also, when you're returning it, remember those wedges that we used to say where guys would form together, 2 or 3 guys? No more of those. So it'd be a lot more man-on-man, one-on-one blocking. And also they have rules about where people have to be when the ball's kicked, where they have to be when the ball's caught. So to me, it's much more like a punt return than it is an actual kickoff return. So I'm eager to see if teams now take their punt returners, those nifty guys who make people miss in the open field, and make them the kickoff returners as well, because I think you can still get big plays in this area if you have the right people back there.
And time to remind you that coming up at halftime, we're off to see the coach, Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have a look back at a wild opening weekend in the NFL.
It's good to have Coach along for the ride this year, although he would probably say it's good for him to have us along for his ride.
The Rams on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Goff now looks to throw. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. 3rd down, he tried to stay in bounds, did all he could. He caught it, but was led a little bit too far.
Yeah, and that's always difficult, isn't it? Because you know half of your body is trying to stay behind while the other half is reaching out, trying to catch the football. The top half worked. It was the bottom half that was in question.
For these Raiders, a couple of years ago, 12-4, 2017, big-time disappointment, 6-10. But as they head out on offense here, optimism abound because on headset number 1 is a man named John Gruden.
And I would expect this team to take on his image in a big way. And I'm not just talking about the media look, right, with the snarling face and all. I'm talking about what he demands.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 27. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Woods. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Now a draw as Goff gives to Gurley. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Goff on 1st down. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Rashawn Melvin. No, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
Looking for Woods that time. Well, they thought they were going to break the tie. The defense had other plans. They were already in field goal range, but boom, an interception.
I don't know if this was a case of being a little bit too greedy with the opportunity to put points on the board, but give credit to the guys on the defensive side. Hung in there, battled, and made a key play.
The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. And last time, 1 play interceptions. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give him a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
Now Carr throwing on 2nd down. Letting one fly deep. That's caught inside the 20. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. The Raiders into the red zone for the first time. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. Into the red zone. It's Carr. Complete to Bryant. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. The Raiders try to move quickly, try to get everybody back to the line. The pitch out to Lynch. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. The Raiders on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 4.
Express. 7:34.
Working from the gun, it's Carr. Trying here for Bryant, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. So a good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. The final shot before break here. Goff. He's letting it fly into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Gary and Conley. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. We have hit halftime. Still 2. All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the 3rd. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. Here comes Ryan Switzer to return it. A spin. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Derek Carr getting set and ready to go again on offense here. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the 3rd quarter. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. To the left side and complete for Amari Cooper. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first.
Doesn't matter whether it's a zone coverage or man coverage, the drag route can be effective when it's run well.
Carr now 11 of 15 through the air. Here's 1st and 10. Carr gives to Marshawn. Running right through it. And he's going to take this one across midfield and into Ram territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Something to watch here in Week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus, the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
They'll run again with Lynch. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. And Ndamukong Suh makes the tackle.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
The Raiders on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. Here it's 3rd and 2.
26, Mike. 26, Mike. White.
From the gun, it's Carr. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. The offense staying out. They're going to go on 4th and 2. They'll go for it. It's Carr. That's to his running back, complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. That one good for 17 yards on 4th. Couldn't ask for much more from your offense there. 1st down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
12 more yards there and another 1st down. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They looked like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
29. Low.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. In the middle of the field, he's got Nelson. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Down. 6:18. 6:37.
Again, it's Carr. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's brought down. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Might we see our first touchdown of the game? Here's first and goal.
Raider 1.
They'll run for it with Lynch. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. To say they've kept him under wraps running the football, that's an understatement. He's been completely neutralized.
Yeah, they've essentially taken him out of the game, haven't they? And you know all the teams say, we're not going to let him beat us. Well, that's exactly what's happened here. They've lived up to that.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
29.
One receiver to the left is Cooper. Carr now on third and goal. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Amari Cooper from 3 yards out. And the Raiders are able to cash in for 6. Eddie Pinheiro now for the extra point. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is now 10-3. Pinheiro now to kick this one away. This one taken from the 7. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Out come the Rams. They'll have it first here to begin the third quarter. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Second down, here's Goff. Dumps it off to Gurley. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up a third down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now Goff. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. Give him 3 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. Amari Cooper and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. A pretty good game for him so far. I guess he's still got time here to make this a great game, but so far he's been solid.
I like where you're going with that because it has been pretty good, but there's always that hint that things can really escalate for him. And right now they feel like they're somewhat keeping him in check, but he has found the end zone once. But, boy, he can explode at any moment.
Yeah, and when you hit that end zone once, you want to find it again, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Makes you hungrier.
You get greedy in a good way. Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And some room to roam now. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Carr looking to throw on 3rd and 2. Escaping the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
To throw his Carr. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. One quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On the give, this is Lynch. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Only a gain of a yard there, but it indeed gets him a new set of downs.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously. But at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
And in this situation with a lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Now Carr. Caught by Nelson left side. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And not much running room. Down to the 32. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Now that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, Just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on third down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
Here's Carr. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 11. A critical error there in a tight game of the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
And he gets this one up just shy of the 35 to the 34. A good pickup there, a 22. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him up.
He's got it at the 15. A big play there for L.A. 55 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that and have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
Now Goff will hand this one to Gurley. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Todd Gurley, a 12-yard touchdown run. And the Rams are an extra point away from tying up this football game. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Switzer now to return. And his guys are going to start their drive right at the 20-yard line. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And it was his interception on the last drive that wound up leading to a game-tying touchdown.
And somehow you can make this a positive, though. You know why? Game tied now, so you're not protecting a lead, so you're not playing that way. You got to go get the lead again, so maybe it loosens him up a little bit and allows him to go ahead and be a little more free in his play.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. On 2nd down, Martin. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
We all have habits. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3.
Single receiver. Hey, you're on an island, though. 24.
Carr going to try and throw on 3rd down. Oh, he stays up. And now he's swallowed up and taken down. Samson Abukum able to get him down behind the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 4th down. Just held on to the football too long there, Charles. That's point blank, right?
Yeah, I agree with that totally. You've got to have that internal clock that goes in your head that says either get rid of the football or flush and go and use your legs and try and pick up the first down. I think he hung in there too long, and the blitz got to him.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And they had to go the length of the field last time out to get into the end zone. And with this starting field position, they're going to have to pretty much do it again.
And I think the thought process going into it is, hey, if you have to be methodical, go ahead and do that. But what you really want are a couple of big plays. Eat up chunks of yardage and cut down the number of times you have to snap the football.
And now running right through it. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. Give him 7 on the play, and that'll make this a second down. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Now on 2nd down, this is Gurley. And Gurley here fumbled it. Gurley fumbles the football. It's loose. And the Raiders pick it up. And they will set up shop with outstanding field position in the red zone at the 17-yard line. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Dog turns and gives to Gurley. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
So it's Rams football here as we get you reset. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. He was unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here? Or is it just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
It's a 49-yard punt, but subtract 9 there for the return. And possession will switch hands. 1st and 10. The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. Well, that's a good first step, but several steps still to go.
They still have time for the possible game-winning field goal. Time for them to be quick and hurry at the same time.
Back to throw, Carr. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the 2nd quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2.
7:34.
Now Carr. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. So now it's 4th down and short, and whatever they do, run or pass it, they've got to pick up the first here.
Yeah, and you mentioned running it. That is still an option, but as you've also said, they've got to do it quickly and get back to the line of scrimmage.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. So now here are the Rams as their offense comes back out. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play. But if they don't, let's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. Now gone. And that's complete to Cooks. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. Now it's gone. And his throw is incomplete. Trying to get it to Woods, and it's second down. That would have been a tough catch, but in this 2-minute drill, those are the ones you really hope your guys come up with.
Yeah, you don't want your guy to be able to take the out because it was a tough catch. You needed him to come up with that one because if he does, it alters the perspective of this 2-minute drill, doesn't it?
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Goff now to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Khalil Mack able to drop him for a loss of 4. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback because he had no chance to block him.
So Goff, he'll try to refocus after the sack. The Rams now set up with a tough one, a 3rd and long. Yet another carry here tonight for Gurley. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. Here's Johnny Hacker now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And control of the football switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. To throw his Carr. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
24. Down. 580. Purdue. Low, low, low.
Carr to throw. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock.
Incomplete pass there is probably the best scenario going because if he catches the football, clock's probably going to run out in that situation.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Carr to throw after the play fake to Lynch. And down he goes on the pressure from the Rams defense. So 4 quarters wasn't enough, and we are off to overtime. Don't change that dial. And here at overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This one fielded at the 5. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And the Rams getting set to go now. They're set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, That gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. The linebacker, Derek Johnson, in on the stop. Short gain there to start overtime.
Almost a tester play, wasn't it? Wanted to see if the guys on defense were going to fit the gaps the correct way because we're in overtime. So it's not just physical tiredness out there, right? Mentally, are you still doing what you're supposed to do? And they were up to the task on that play.
There's certainly fatigue on both sides of the football. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's third down. As a fan of the NFL, for an opener, you can't ask for much more than this overtime in Week 1.
I know it's hard to believe that some people may not have been watching our game, but I'll bet through social media they found out this one was snug and getting into overtime, and they flipped over here in a hurry. This is fantastic. If you're a fan of ball, you love these types of games.
Only a pickup of 2, but that's all they needed for the first.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Now Goff on first down. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. A little dinking and dunking that they're doing. At some point, is it appropriate to maybe take a shot?
It is if you feel good about it. But otherwise, you do what a coach told me a long time ago. Take what they give you, but make them tackle. In other words, get it to one of your guys in space. If you make someone miss, that could turn into the big play you're looking for. I haven't met a defensive coordinator yet that thinks 2nd and 2 is a fun situation to try and defend. Playbook is wide open for an offense, partner.
Nice job holding to 1 after that 8-yard pickup on first down. And they're going with some extra beef up front. They've got to have this one in overtime. It's 3rd and 1. They'll try and pick up the first with Gurley. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. Decision time now on 4th and about 1.5 yards.
I can still hear my high school coach, John Ford, right now. I want my #1 play with my #1 runner over my #1 blocker. Get me the first down. But some may very well say, punt this thing away, pin them down deep, and play field position.
Offense.
And that'll set them back 5. Here's Johnny Hecker now. On for a very important punt here in overtime. And now here come the Raiders. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to them, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. Excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Now part 1 is done, now part 2. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
2 minutes to go here in overtime. We'll be back after this. What can Carr do now with his drive? And Cook has it left side. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
A 2nd down completion got him 7. Now here's 3rd and 3. Throwing now is Carr. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tucker roll that they can fall back on anymore.
Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. Now a play fake here on first down. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away. Keeping the aggression going on defense in overtime here, a first down blitz.
You know you can get burned on it big time if they pick it up. But in this situation, they brought the blitz, put some pressure on the QB, and he wasn't able to complete a pass downfield.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now a handoff for Gurley. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4. Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here. They'll be left with just one remaining here at OT. The Rams on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. A shotgun snap for Gone. And got a man. It's Woods. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. They'll be down to just one remaining as we step aside here in overtime. On the handoff, it's Gurley. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
To throw on 2nd down is Gone. Working the middle here, that's complete to Everett, the tight end. Over 100 yards receiving for him now in the opener, and it's a first down.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run, because we envision them in offenses catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. Now before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. That's their 2nd and last timeout here in the overtime session. We'll be back. So it'll all come down to the booming right leg of Greg Zuerlein. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. It'll be their 2nd and final timeout, remember, here in overtime. We'll be back. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. We were just treated to an absolute dandy in this one. A great finish in overtime with a long field goal. Everybody, including us, on the edge of their seats. Quite a game.
And it's rare that you get a game into overtime that it doesn't turn out to be a dandy, right? That's what we saw here. And just what you were talking about. A long field goal to win it. So definitely not a gimme. So there was tension all the way through until the ball went through the post.
But it did go through the post. Ice water was in his veins. So for Los Angeles, they needed overtime to do it, but they get the Week 1 victory thanks to the field goal. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for Oakland, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.